Hi guys, welcome back. If you're hyped for this insane what-if clash, show some love and hit that PayPal link in the description. Let's dive right in.
The morning sun struggles to pierce the thick, suffocating smoke choking the Konoha outskirts. What was once a peaceful sanctuary is now a graveyard. A brutal battle for survival has pushed the young shinobi of the leaf to their absolute breaking point. Sasuke's curse mark burns like hellfire, his prodigious talent utterly useless against the walking nightmare standing before them. Naruto's chakra is completely drained. Every muscle screams in agony. The will of fire is flickering, threatening to go out entirely. The demon of the sand village has awakened. Reason and humanity have been swallowed by pure, unadulterated madness.
More! I need to crush you! I need to feel your blood on my sand!
A merciless tidal wave of cursed sand obliterates everything in its path, tearing the very earth asunder. Even his own siblings can only watch in absolute terror. There is no saving Gaara now. Only death awaits those who linger.
No way! It's over! We're actually going to die here!
A cataclysmic impact shakes the very foundation of the forest, plunging the battlefield into a deafening, terrifying chaos. Yet, right in the heart of this apocalyptic storm, a singular anomaly remains entirely untouched by the beast's wrath. High above the desperate screams and the scent of blood, a completely different kind of presence slumbers peacefully. Shielded by a barrier of incomprehensible energy, totally isolated from the mortal struggles of this fragile world. The Prince of all Saiyans. Unbothered. Unfazed. Just a god taking a nap after an annoying dimensional accident. While legends of the shinobi world face their darkest hour, Vegeta's biggest concern right now is catching up on his sleep schedule. From up here, the terrifying power of a tailed beast is nothing more than a minor, irritating breeze. But the beast below is arrogant, unaware that its mindless rampage is about to cross a fatal line. A stray attack from the monstrous Shukaku hurtles upwards, carrying enough force to obliterate a mountain. An absolute defense. The beast's ultimate attack shatters against the god's passive aura like fragile glass. The physical attack did absolutely nothing. But the noise was a grave mistake. The prince is awake. And he is incredibly, violently irritated by this pathetic interruption. Ignorant of the divine wrath hanging right above its head, the monster continues its noisy tantrum. A simple shift in his posture is enough to shatter the ancient wood and clear the darkened sky. He descends not as a savior, but as a heavily inconvenienced god ready to dish out some brutal discipline. Temari watches in disbelief. Who in their right mind would dive headfirst into the maw of the one-tail? The apex predator of the sand is about to learn a very harsh, very humbling lesson about the universe's true hierarchy. No fear. No hesitation. Just the burning irritation of a man whose beauty sleep was rudely stolen. His sheer presence bends reality itself, suffocating the beast's aura instantly. The stage is set for a one-sided slaughter. Playtime is officially over. The tailed beast is about to find out exactly why you never wake a sleeping Saiyan. The fragile shell of the boy shatters completely. Humanity is erased, leaving only a vessel for absolute carnage. Reason succumbs to madness. The beast buried deep within his soul finally rips its way to the surface. A devastating sandstorm instantly terraforms the battlefield, choking the very life out of the surrounding forest. The one-tail awakens. An ancient entity fueled entirely by bloodlust and an endless reservoir of hatred. The sheer scale of the monster eclipses the sun itself. A walking natural disaster has descended upon the leaf. Every single movement it makes fractures the earth beneath it. This isn't a battle anymore, it's an execution. Free at last from its human prison, the beast revels in the intoxicating scent of fear and impending death. The number one knucklehead ninja finally meets a wall he cannot punch through. His spirit is utterly crushed. His chakra network is completely drained. The boy who swore to never give up can't even stand on his own 2 feet. Every ounce of willpower he has left is betrayed by a broken body that simply refuses to obey him anymore. The prodigy of the Uchiha clan fares no better. Orochimaru's curse mark violently reacts to the immense demonic chakra. The dark seal feeds on his fear, paralyzing his nervous system and draining whatever fight he had left in him.
My body! Oh, it won't move! Damn it, is this really how we go out? Just crushed like bugs?
The leaf's brightest hopes have been completely extinguished. They are nothing but ants waiting for the inevitable boot to drop. Even the monster's own siblings are completely paralyzed by the sheer magnitude of the horror unfolding before them. Temari's tough facade completely crumbles. The fierce Kunoichi is reduced to a terrified, helpless older sister mourning her family. Kankuro cowers in the dirt, absolutely powerless. The Sand siblings realize their precious weapon has turned into their executioner.
Gaara, I'm so sorry. I'm too weak. I couldn't save you from this nightmare. We're all going to die.
Bored with the broken toys at its feet, the One-Tail prepares to announce its ultimate supremacy to the world. The monster draws in a terrifying amount of breath, compressing immense chakra into a single, devastating sonic blast. A roar of pure malice. A shockwave capable of tearing apart the very fabric of the sky itself. The destructive wave rockets upward, a senseless act of violence destined to crash into the absolute wrong target. The beast's arrogance knows no bounds. It blindly lashes out, tearing through the ancient sanctuary above. The god's passive defense easily repels the physical force, but the sheer volume of the sonic vibration is overwhelming. The attack didn't leave a scratch. But the noise. The unbearable noise has successfully ruined the prince's nap. The barrier holds, but the ancient wood beneath him simply cannot withstand the catastrophic pressure of the impact. The sanctuary is broken. Gravity takes over, pulling the sleeping titan directly into the heart of the massacre. Plunging into the apocalypse, he remains completely unbothered, resembling a fallen meteor wrapped in pure arrogance. The slumber is officially over. And the prince of all Saiyans is waking up on the absolute wrong side of the bed. The beast thinks it has conquered this world. But a vastly superior god is about to crash the party. The roaring apocalypse is snuffed out in a microsecond. An oppressive, suffocating silence violently replaces the chaos. The beast hesitates. For the first time since its awakening, it feels the terrifying weight of true apex energy. The prince doesn't need to scream to establish dominance. His mere presence is enough to bend reality itself. The young shinobi watch in stunned silence. A complete stranger has casually parked himself right in the jaws of death. Temari's tears stop falling. Despair is suddenly overwritten by absolute, mind-numbing confusion. Visually, it is the most one-sided mismatch in history. But in reality, the beast is outmatched completely. He doesn't see a god of destruction. He merely sees a noisy, overgrown pest in desperate need of discipline. The One-Tail's pride is deeply wounded. To be dismissed so casually by a mortal is an unforgivable sin.
Seriously? Could you oversized raccoons keep it down? Some of us are actually trying to get some sleep here.
A tiny speck dares to mock me? I'll crush you into bloody paste, you arrogant bug!
The beast unleashes its full wrath. A single strike containing enough raw kinetic force to wipe the Leaf Village off the map. For Naruto and Sasuke, this is the end. There is absolutely nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. The strike descends like a falling meteor. Death is inevitable for the arrogant stranger. But the Saiyan doesn't dodge. He doesn't block. He just watches with crushing disappointment. Time seems to freeze. In the face of overwhelming annihilation, he offers the most insulting defense imaginable. One finger. Against the full might of a tailed beast. The universe holds its breath. A collision of absolute asymmetry. Physics crumbles. The unstoppable force has just met a truly immovable god. The kinetic energy has nowhere to go but backward, violently rejecting the beast's attack. The ultimate defense of the sand is shattered. Its massive limb violently crumbles under the rebound of its own power. Temari's brain short-circuits. Everything she knew about power scaling has just been violently deleted. Even the legendary Sharingan cannot comprehend what just happened. It's a glitch in their reality. The apex predator is instantly reduced to a whimpering prey. It realizes, far too late, it picked a fight with a sovereign. Not a bead of sweat. Not a single step back. Just the casual annoyance of brushing dirt off his shoulder. Defense was just a reflex. Now, the prince is ready to actively participate in this pathetic little brawl. Driven by pure survival instinct, the One-Tail unleashes a desperate barrage. A futile gesture against the inevitable. He walks through absolute destruction like a light morning drizzle. The gap in power is fundamentally insurmountable. The beast finally understands. It is not fighting a human. It is fighting a localized force of nature. The wind-up is slow. Deliberate. He wants the monster to feel every single ounce of its impending humiliation. A king doesn't ask for silence. He beats it into you. The Saiyan's patience expires entirely. In the blink of an eye, the concept of speed is violently redefined. A simple base form uppercut. No glowing transformations, no screaming. Just pure, unadulterated physical supremacy. The absolute defense of the Sand Village is treated like wet paper against the fist of a sovereign. The shockwave alone decapitates the beast's armor, launching a mountain of weight into the stratosphere like it's absolutely nothing. Naruto's reality is completely broken. The nightmare that nearly killed them was just swatted away like an annoying fly. The Sharingan screams in agony. It cannot copy, track, or even comprehend the divine mechanics of that single punch. Humiliated and driven entirely by primal wrath, the tailed beast abandons all reason, preparing its ultimate weapon. Red and blue chakra compress at a terrifying ratio. The atmosphere groans under the weight of the Bijou Dama. The siblings know exactly what this is. A tailed beast bomb meant to wipe their entire existence from the map. Temari drops her weapon. There is no jutsu, no strategy, and absolutely no hope left to survive this impact. The ultimate weapon of mass destruction is locked and loaded, possessing enough raw power to casually erase mountains.
Disappear completely, you arrogant little speck of dust. Die with this pathetic forest.
The nuke is launched. A merciless beam of absolute annihilation hurtling toward a single, unmoving man. He doesn't flinch. He doesn't prepare to dodge. The prince looks at the apocalyptic weapon like it's a cheap parlor trick. Time slows to a crawl. The ultimate attack of a legend meets the bare, unarmored palm of a god. The universe physically halts. The devastating energy of the tailed beast is instantly stopped dead in its tracks. The nuke grinds furiously against his palm, desperately trying to detonate, but it is firmly denied by superior physical laws.
All this flashy build-up and dramatic screaming, just for this pathetic little spark? How utterly boring!
He doesn't just block it. He physically grabs the raw energy, bending the jutsu to his absolute will. The apex weapon of the shinobi world is literally crushed. A nuke forcefully compressed into a harmless toy. With a single, effortless squeeze, the apocalypse is extinguished. The ultimate power scale of this reality is officially shattered. He stands victorious without ever breaking a sweat. A chilling reminder of what true, unfiltered godly power actually looks like. The demon of the sand finally learns the taste of fear. Its arrogance completely replaced by overwhelming, primal terror. For the young shinobi, witnessing this is a religious experience. Their understanding of strength has just been violently rewritten. And in that exact moment, despair vanishes. Replaced entirely by a deeply intoxicating obsession with absolute, uncompromising power. The defense phase is over. It's time for the Prince of all Saiyans to properly dismantle this oversized raccoon. He isn't doing this to save the village. He's just incredibly pissed off that his nap was ruined. The one-tail realizes running is completely futile, yet terror forces its massive body into a pathetic, cowardly retreat. Playtime is officially over. The sovereign moves in to deliver the final, devastating lesson in discipline. The beast cannot even blink before the architect of its absolute destruction arrives right at its doorstep. With bare hands and sheer absolute power, he prepares to violently dissect the nightmare and drag the boy out. The unbreakable armor is torn apart instantly. The prince reaches straight into the beast's core with zero hesitation.
Bro, he just crushed a literal nuke with his bare hands. Did you actually expect this disrespect? Let me know in the comments below.
The prince doesn't hesitate. He bypasses every jutsu law, plunging his bare hands directly into the beast's structural core. He finds the sleeping host instantly. There is no complex sealing ritual needed here, just brute physical extraction. Like pulling a weed from the dirt, he violently rips the boy free, instantly severing the monstrous connection. Deprived of its anchor, the One-Tail's consciousness collapses. The walking natural disaster is immediately rendered brain-dead. The impossible threat that nearly wiped out the Leaf Village is dismantled in mere seconds by a grumpy traveler. The nightmare dissolves into nothing but ordinary dust, burying the battlefield under a mountain of its own failure. Naruto finally lets go. The crushing weight of impending death is completely lifted from his shattered shoulders. Sasuke's curse mark retreats. The terrifying reality of the power gap leaves the prodigy entirely speechless. The god descends back to the mortal realm, bringing the cause of all this annoying noise directly to the ground. There is no gentle rescue here. Vegeta tosses the broken vessel away like a completely useless piece of trash. The violent impact rips Gaara from his sleep. He awakens not as a monster, but as a terrified, confused child. The voices are gone. The demon is gone. For the first time in his life, he is utterly, completely alone. Panic takes over. Acting purely on survival instinct, the boy unleashes a frantic, desperate attack to kill the stranger. Vegeta doesn't move a single muscle. He simply allows a microscopic fraction of his true malice to leak out. The sand dies before it even touches him. Crushed into nothingness by an invisible, overwhelming wall of pure power. The boy is slammed into the dirt. His entire nervous system paralyzed by a fear he never knew existed. His absolute defense was a joke. His monster was a toy. The cold, hard truth violently breaks his fractured mind. Vegeta looks down at the broken child. Not with pity or compassion, but with the harshest form of absolute disgust.
Flexing a borrowed monster doesn't make you strong, kid. It just makes you a pathetic zoo enclosure.
He strikes not with a fist, but with a truth sharper than any blade. True strength is never borrowed. The boy's twisted ideology crumbles entirely. He doesn't need a friend's speech, he needed to be violently humbled by a true king. The lesson is over. The Saiyan turns his back, delivering the ultimate insult by treating the boy as completely insignificant. Naruto watches in awe. He learns that sometimes, compassion isn't what saves a person. Sometimes, they just need their arrogance shattered. The prince isn't done. The weight of his terrifying gaze snaps onto the older siblings, freezing the blood in their veins. They expect death. They expect the god to obliterate them for the crimes of their village. But he has a different punishment.
And you too. If you're his older siblings, start acting like it. Keep your damn little brother on a leash.
A chilling ultimatum. A promise that if his nap is interrupted again, he will casually erase their entire civilization from the map. The fierce Kunoichi bows completely. Her immense pride completely shattered, replaced instantly by an overwhelming, terrified respect. The puppeteer is reduced to a trembling mess. They realize their lives were spared purely by the god's fleeting mercy. The brutal discipline of the sovereign is complete. A cosmic reality check that permanently rewrote the fate of the Sand siblings. Fear evaporates. In the presence of absolute, unfiltered supremacy, Temari finds something far more intoxicating than despair. To the prince, this wasn't a legendary battle to save the world. It was just basic pest control. Drawn like a moth to a divine flame, the Sand Kunoichi abandons her post, captivated by true power. Kankuro wants to stop her, but his legs refuse to move. Intervening means risking the god's wrath again. The Sand Village has failed her. In this chaotic world, she decides to pledge her life to the ultimate apex. Tea isn't just respect. It's an overwhelming, magnetic pull toward a man who makes monsters look like toys.
Your power is absolute. Please take me with you. I pledge my life and loyalty to serve you.
The Leaf Shinobi are speechless. To see a proud enemy commander instantly submit is completely unheard of. For Gaara, this is the final nail in the coffin. Absolute power dictates reality, and he has none of it. The battlefield holds its breath. Will the brutal god actually accept a disciple from this primitive world? The tension peaks. But instead of a divine acceptance, the prince delivers the most devastating reality check imaginable.
Follow me. Don't flatter yourself, you're too weak. Besides, if my wife catches me bringing some girl home, she'll ban me from the gravity room.
The epic fantasy is instantly shattered. Did the man who just crushed a nuke really just say he's scared of his wife? The terrifying illusion of the god crumbles. The ultimate apex predator of the universe is just a deeply whipped family man. Bulma's machine finally locks onto his coordinates. The babysitting session is officially over. He leaves her with one final, crushing piece of advice. If she wants to stand by a god, she better learn how to blow up a planet first. And just like that, the anomaly is gone. Ripped back to a universe where people actually know how to fight. She didn't get to follow him. But the brutal rejection didn't break her, it forged an entirely new, unshakable goal. The demon of the sand is dead. What remains is just a humble boy who finally understands the true weight of the world. A stranger fell from the sky, saved their lives because he was cranky, and casually shattered their entire reality. The ninja world will never be the same. Because now they know, gods actually exist, and they really hate loud noises.
Let me know in the comments which anime universe Vegeta should completely disrespect next. And hey, if you loved this edit, alright everyone, make sure to smash that like button and support the channel via the PayPal link in the description. Catch you guys next time.